Welcome back. This is TryandWear412 taking a look at the second part of this particular game. I failed to mention last time I named this video Peace of Mind because that is the name that the game was given on the website that I played on, which is webdiplomacy.net. If you're interested in diplomacy at all, you should definitely check that out. So Peace of Mind was the name of the game we played. It's all done now, so it's in their archives. We're going to pick back up where we left off before. You remember we were had just finished talking about the builds in 1902. England's builds here, Austria building a fleet after taking a center away from me. And so we're going to go ahead and move on to spring 1903. I realized that Austria had taken Venice from me with a fleet, and fleets can't move inland and can only get to my other centers by moving clear around this outside. So he couldn't move straight across and take Rome. He couldn't do anything like that. So I decided to keep pushing into France. You see my army here moving in with support and this army following through. France couldn't have done anything about this move, and he ends up not submitting anything at all. Probably a little upset about getting attacked by both me and England. And sadly, sometimes when that happens, people just drop out. It's annoying, but I guess so is getting attacked. I see more conflicts up here between Germany and England-Russia. England continues to work with Russia, even though it's obvious again that Russia and Turkey are working together. You see that happen right here, where Russia takes Budapest from Austria, Austria just having no luck in this game whatsoever. Again, England forces France to withdraw, but France doesn't submit orders for the retreat either, and so that unit ends up being disbanded. It just disappears. And so in the fall, I start talking to England, and we make a deal, or so I think, where I take Portugal and Spain, and then promise to stop advancing in his direction, so he can take the rest of France, start fighting with Germany, and I try to convince him to stop working with Russia. But I guess we'll just see how that works in a little while here. I also have some issues with Turkey. Turkey is growing quite rapidly, and I'm the only thing, once he takes Austria out, I'm the next thing in his way. I tried to make a deal with him where the Ionian Sea would be a neutral space between the two of us, hoping that he would take Austria and then maybe attack his ally Russia. But he doesn't really want anything to do with that. He attacks my fleet instead. However, since I was able to take Portugal and Spain in the fall here, I am able to get some builds, which will definitely help my case, my retreat here. He took me out, so I retreated to Tunis. I could have retreated to Tyrrhenian or Naples, well, a couple other places, but those two would have made sense, I guess. However, if I had retreated to Tyrrhenian, I would have just had to defend Tunis in the next turn. Retreating to Naples would have been to give up Tunis altogether, and it would have covered my two supply centers, and I needed those two to build those two fleets. So I gain 2, build fleets. Russia gains 1, builds an army. France is forced to disband. I don't remember if France submitted that order or if that was automatic. If he had automatically lost a unit, it would have been that one. So I guess I would have to look. Doesn't matter. Either way, France loses a unit. And I contact Turkey again, now that I have more fleets than he does. I thought maybe he would be more apt to listen to me and to vacate the Ionian Sea. He does, in fact, vacate the Ionian Sea. England, as per our agreement, moves out of the mid-Atlantic. And I move back towards my own original territories, hoping to force Austria out of Venice. So I'm kind of moving back towards the east after expanding west fairly successfully. Again, I was not really excited about getting Italy. Everyone I've seen play Italy, or had seen play Italy up to this point, had come out of the game with their original 3 and Tunis. And I really wanted to have more success than that, and so far I have done fairly well. Even though I lost Venice, I was able to gain 3 centers from Italy, and so I'm up to 6, and once I take Venice back, I will be up to 7. So far so good. Well, a few minor setbacks, but nothing too awful. You see Russia supporting Turkey more, moving towards Germany here, and also Russia has a unit here that threatens this open English territory, but he does nothing with it. So that is worth mentioning. Germany's just turtling here. It looks like he's gone into complete defensive mode. So we'll go to the fall. England is... This is the first sign, I guess, that I should have seen. It's England being about to cause trouble. Mid-Atlantic was supposed to be neutral. He said that he was moving around, which I suppose he was, so that this fleet could join the battle elsewhere. He should have attacked from this territory and supported from the English Channel, and then this fleet could have moved up and stayed out of our neutral zone, but whatever. So he moves into the ocean here, which will cause trouble for me later. Germany moves back for whatever reason and ends up losing Berlin to Russia. I have made enough of a deal, I suppose, with Turkey that he's willing to support me into Venice. So that's good, I get Venice back. But in that very same turn I break our deal and take the Ionian. I was really worried that Turkey would just build new fleets and force himself into the Ionian later, so I hoped that maybe by getting in there myself before he did, I would be able to hold on to it for a little longer and hopefully do even more than that, make some progress. So that is the fall of 1904. We see the retreats, which are not anything spectacular. Austria retreats, Germany retreats. Germany does retreat into France's last center, and so France is eliminated, and Germany gets to build. Russia gets a build, Turkey gets a build, and does build a fleet. I get a new army. England builds a new army as well. England starts pushing his attack against Germany with Russian support. He gains 2 centers, and here the move that really annoyed me, he took Portugal. Complete greed. 2 centers is a great year, and England decides that 2 is not enough and he needs to take another one from me. If he had not done that, I would have had a fine defense built against the Turkish player. Since I have a western battlefront now as well as my eastern one, I knew at this point that I was in huge trouble. I was able to hold the Ionian at least for this turn, so I don't lose it quite yet. But then after the retreat, this was a strange retreat. They retreat into each other, and instead of getting to retreat, they both disband. Not sure what Germany was thinking there. And here you see I lose the Ionian because Turkey attacks with 1, 2, 3, 4, and I only defend with 1, 2, 3. And England stays in Portugal, keeping me from being able to hold out against Turkey. This is the beginning of the end for my country. So we'll finish this year out real quick. We've got the retreat here, Austria's last unit. Germany retreating as well. I retreat into Naples, even though there's not a whole lot of point anymore. And at the end of 05, after a great year or two, I'm still at 6 because I have lost Portugal to a violent English player. And I will point out one of his builds before we finish this fleet here. A fleet in Liverpool can only really be used to attack France. If you want to attack Germany, you build it in London. If you want to attack Russia, it goes in Edinburgh. Most of the time, 99.9% of the time, Liverpool, a fleet built in Liverpool, means an attack in this direction, which is against France, or in this case, against the person occupying France, which is me. Well, that's about it for now. There are 5 years, I think, left in this conflict, so there's still a lot of diplomacy to go. I hope you'll join me for part 3.